What's good, y'all? Welcome back to Rick Knows Hoops. The first thing I saw this morning when I woke up was that the Celtics are interested in a Ben Simmons trade. Shams reported this earlier today, and initially I thought, no, I don't like that, because the 76ers, of course, they want Jaylen Brown included in the deal. But the more I got to thinking about it, the more I don't think it would be a bad move for either side. I mean, from Philly's aspect, like, of course, right now you're 8-2 without Ben Simmons even playing a game. Tobias Harris has missed time, and we just found out earlier today that Joel Embiid is going to miss at least 10 days because he's in health and safety protocols. So you've been getting the job done with, like, Seth Curry being your second best player, Joel Embiid not even playing that great, Tyrese Maxey having to step up, and, you know, guys like Georges Niang really stepping into roles, you know, guys that they signed in the offseason. And you're 8-2 so far, which is a great start. You're number one in the Eastern Conference, I believe second best team in the league right now. You're playing great basketball without Ben Simmons touching the floor this season. So from that aspect, you add somebody at Jaylen Brown's caliber who will probably fit right into what they need, and that's, you know, more perimeter scoring. It looks good right now that, you know, they have guys stepping up, like Seth Curry's playing excellent basketball, but when you get down the line, when you get down to the postseason, you want to have a secondary star that can, you know, create shots and, you know, create offense. And, you know, do you really trust Seth Curry to be your secondary scorer in a playoff series against a Milwaukee Bucks team or a Brooklyn Nets team? I don't think so. I like what Seth Curry's done, but I don't think he can be that kind of option right now. You look at somebody like Jaylen Brown, who's averaging, like, I think over 25 points per game. I know he's leading the Celtics in scoring right now at this very moment, but you look at somebody like that to add to this roster, that would be a great move. And, you know, giving up Ben Simmons, right now it doesn't look like Ben Simmons' value is maybe as high as a lot of people expected. I mean, Philly's one of the best offensive teams in the league, and they're, like, I think top 15 in defense, which isn't amazing, but it's not like they're a bottom half, you know, defensive team in the league. I think they're like 12th right now, so they're still very good on the defensive side of the ball. I think that's the impact of Matisse Thybulle, and I think Joel Embiid's impact on the defensive side of the ball kind of gets overlooked sometimes because he does play with Ben Simmons, but Joel is still one of, like, the best defensive bigs that we have in our league. So I'm not sure what a trade would look like. They just said Jaylen Brown would have to be involved. I think 1-for-1, like, we don't see 1-for-1 swaps, like, very often, and if we do, they're never really, like, great deals. But I think 1-for-1, it kind of makes sense for both sides. You know, just, you know, as far as, like, you know, Philly, they fined Ben Simmons again for missing a game. I think it was last Thursday or Friday. They fined him like $300,000, and then they said, like, you know, because I guess, you know, Ben Simmons is having, like, mental block, like, he's having some mental health problems, and they want Ben Simmons to cooperate with the team, psychiatrists and stuff like that. And I guess he's not cooperating, so they fined him, and they said they're gonna keep finding him until he begins to cooperate so he can get on the court sometime soon. And I get why they want to do that. They've been calling out Ben Simmons' bluff this entire time. I see why they want him to play, because right now it looks like we're just as good without you, regular season speaking. We are just as good without Ben Simmons on the floor. So his value probably doesn't look as high for other teams. So a team like the Boston Celtics that has interest in Ben Simmons probably thinks that they can get him on the roster without having to give up Jaylen Brown or Jayson Tatum. And, you know, this Trailblazers are probably thinking the same thing. A lot of teams are probably thinking that. And I think Philly would be kind of foolish to now lowball or take a low offer, like, you know, potentially like a Buddy Hield or something like that. I think they would be kind of fooling themselves trying to do that. But as for the Celtics, I think this is a trade that they should probably really think about doing. And it hurts me to say that because Jaylen Brown is one of my favorite players in the league. And I love him in Boston, but the things that this team really struggle with are things that Ben Simmons can help with from day one. He would instantly walk into that locker room and be the best playmaker on that team from the jump. And he would probably be the best defensive player that this team has as well. I mean, Jaylen Brown provides a good amount on the defensive side of the ball, but Ben Simmons is a defensive player of the year caliber type of player. And I think the C's have the pieces, like, that would be around Ben Simmons that would help unlock his game. You have somebody like Jayson Tatum who can create his own shot, but now you got somebody like Ben Simmons who, you know, can help Tatum get easier shots. You got capable three-point shooters. Marcus Smart's not shooting great from three this season, but he's a capable three-point shooter. Al Horford can stretch the floor. It'd just be interesting to see what lineups and stuff they would run, but they got guys that can definitely shoot the ball. Even though Philly does too, but I think this might fit his play style a little more because you don't have Embiid, you know, on the low block. which is where Ben Simmons, typically, wants to get to the bucket, to create for himself and create for others. But Joel kind of hinders that just a little bit. And it seems like they both play better without each other, which is the craziest thing. Me and my dad, we always used to talk about it's hard to build a very good team when you have like two similar players, like two guys that do the exact same things. It's very tough to win like, meaningful basketball games like that. And I think the Celtics have done a good job over the years of being able to be competitive with having, Jaylen Brown, Jayson Tatum as two of your best players. The fact of the matter is that these two guys do a lot of the same things, and they don't do things that really make others better. They don't play make as well as you would want your two best players to be able to do. It's tough watching this team sometimes because they are so reliant on Jayson Tatum and Jaylen Brown, and it's not really all to their fault, because the team has been constructed to where the ball has to be in their hands so much. The ball has to be in their hands so much. They have to create a lot of offense, and it just so happens they're not the best playmakers. They're not guys like James Harden or Russell Westbrook, like when they had their own teams, how you can put the ball in their hands and they can create for themselves and for others. They're not those type of players. They are really, they're shot creators. They are scorers. They put the ball in the bucket. That's what they do best. And the Celtics team has not been constructed well enough to help, limit their deficiencies, as far as playmaking goes, which is things that they just don't do well. So it's like, if the Celtics want to take the next step, which I don't think this team right now should be thinking about winning the championship, but they should be thinking about getting better. They should be thinking about getting better and getting to that point to where they can consider themselves a championship quality team. Right now, they're not it. And the only way that you might be able to get better is having to choose between Tatum and Brown. And a lot of people will say Tatum, and Tatum has more upside. Tatum is the better player right now. I would say that too. But it's tough. I mean, I know some Celtics fans that will probably tell you that they prefer Brown over Tatum. I'm kind of mixed, like in the middle. I really like both, but I'm super critical of Jayson Tatum because I think he has another level or two that he can really reach in his game. I think he has so much more that he can improve on and become one of the best players in the league, without a doubt. So maybe a Ben Simmons move is something that can help Jayson Tatum unlock, his fullest potential, because I think Ben Simmons is somebody that can make players better. I'm still on the Ben Simmons train. I still think Ben Simmons is one of those guys that, you add to a team and will instantly get better. It's just crazy to see that Philly right now is playing better ball without him. Shout out to the team. Shout out to Doc Rivers because he's coaching those guys up. And it's going to be interesting because they don't got Tobias Harris right now. They're missing guys. They're missing guys on that roster, and Joel Embiid's about to miss 10 days. So they're about to be in for an interesting 10 days for sure. But this was just an update, a little rumor. I know I wasn't going to talk about Ben Simmons, but it's involving the Celtics. I got to talk about it. And I kind of like the idea of these two teams, trading pieces. I think that it would make both teams better, honestly. I really do believe that. I think it'd be interesting. I probably doubt that this trade will happen, but it's fun to speculate sometimes. I'll say that. It's fun to speculate. But if you did enjoy the video, be sure to leave a like, subscribe if you are new. Trying to reach 500 subscribers by the end of the year. Can't do that unless you guys hit the subscribe button, hit the like button. Means a lot. Appreciate y'all, and I'm out. Peace.